Hey guys, my name is Priscilla Elias and I hope you're doing well. I decided to share some very personal information with you today because I know that many of you like photography, take good photos, have photography paid jobs eventually, but haven't taken that extra step to make your photography business your main thing yet. And something people ask me a lot is, should I go full-time from the beginning? How much money can I make when I start? I can only speak for myself, so today I'll share my personal experience. I will tell you how much money I made in my first year as a professional photographer and what it took me to get to this mark. Stick up to the end of this video because it might inspire you to take your next step as a photographer, or if you have already started shooting professionally and are only wondering how other photographers are doing out there, maybe it'll give you some insights for your ongoing photography business also. It is no news that starting out your own business is not easy. It can be a life changer on the long run, but usually it is very hard in the beginning. It's in the first year that you're usually improving your skills, getting to actually feel the market you've probably been researching for the last couple of months or even years, getting your first clients, learning from your mistakes, and so on. Going full-time or part-time, either way, it is challenging. You put your time into something that possibly for a couple of months or years will not pay off. You invest a lot of money on your equipment, studio, and everything related to the business, and you're taking away some precious time off of something that could instantly pay you better than doing this. Let me tell you straight away, it was not much different for me. I think I really cannot complain from my first year, especially considering that I moved countries twice throughout this period of time. So it was not only about starting from zero with photography, it was also about starting from zero in a new country with a different language and with no contact whatsoever. I had been doing photography as an amateur photographer for about 10 years, but it was only by the end of 2017 and the beginning of 2018 that I really took time to learn and improve my photography skills to a level I would consider myself good enough to get my first paid jobs. I was living in Brazil at the time, and my husband, at that time my boyfriend, got a job in Dublin, Ireland, and as a musician a bit tired of the music market, I decided to step further into photography, which was another type of art that I loved. So from October of 2017, after a trip we did to Iceland, until February of 2018, while I was spending some time in Ireland with my husband, I studied hard and I started creating my photography portfolio, as by that time I was sure I wanted to try to do photography professionally. At that time I had a Canon 80D and a 50mm 1.4, and I decided to invest in the Canon 5D Mark IV and a couple of lenses. I also bought an external flash and a couple of other accessories. I invested about $5,000 to $6,000 in equipment. So I bought the equipment in February. I went back to Brazil to prepare my cats for the trip to Ireland, since me and Ricardo had decided to definitely move to Ireland. Since I had many contacts in Brazil, while I was there, I did a couple of free photo shoots for friends and family, and in about 15 days maybe, I had a photography portfolio in hand. With that, I contacted some other people and got my first paid jobs. In March of 2018, I made about 400 euros with my first Brazilian clients. Now I had enough to build my social media and website, so I quickly did that when I finally moved to Ireland in April of 2018. As soon as I got to Ireland, I immediately contacted some people through Facebook groups and some photography studios that worked with weddings to see if I could get some photography jobs. In no time, I started getting my first portrait clients and also quickly I started shooting my first weddings as a second photographer for some wedding photography studios from Dublin. By December, I had made about 5,500 euros in photography jobs. So it took me about 10 months to nearly pay for my equipment. That's when we moved to Sweden. So again, zero contacts, restarting all over again. Still, even though we were going through the whole moving process, which takes time, especially when you're moving countries and know nothing about how things work on the new country you're moving to, by March of 2019, which completed an exact year from my first paid client, I had made a total of 10,500 euros, which makes an average of 900 euros a month. Definitely an amount that would not pay my bills living in cities like Dublin and Stockholm, where renting houses is so expensive, but still a pretty decent amount of money for someone who went from an amateur to a professional photographer in 3 months, and that moved countries twice in the process. Then for the next year I tripled my income, and after that I started to dedicate some time to this YouTube channel, which is another story you can hear more about in the links that I will leave in the description in case it is something that interests you. Now, please drop me a comment down below sharing your story with me as well. How was it for you when you started? Or if you're starting out now, did this inspire you, or did you actually get discouraged by the amount of money I was able to make? Do you think this was a good start, or do you think I could actually have done better? I'd love to hear your thoughts, as I also end up getting many insights from your stories and comments. If this video helped you guys, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel. I will be really thankful for that. If you haven't started out yet, get your butt out there and start doing this thing. You don't have to start full-time. Go part-time. Get paid photo shoots for the weekend, but anyway, get it started. You might be surprised by the results you get if you just put some effort into it. That is all for today, guys. Thanks so much for watching me. Have a nice one. I will see you in the next video. Ciao!